You are gonna love this. This is like, let me show you. Hey guys, welcome back to my kitchen. It has been a good bit since I've been here. If you watched my previous video, I kind of explained why I've been gone and why I'm back. So Valentine's Day is right around the corner, so I thought that it would be really fun to decorate some Valentine's Day cookies for you. Now, I don't know about you, if you guys have seen these things popping around on the internet, but you know, like those sugar cookie decorating video compilations? I sit down and watch those sometimes, and they are just totally mind-blowing and super entertaining. You may watch those and think, wow, if that's what it takes to decorate sugar cookies, that is so not for me. It's too complicated, I don't have the right tools, I'm not artistic enough, or whatever it may be. In this video today, I am here to show you just a super simple way that you can decorate Valentine's themed sugar cookies and still make them attractive, make them look impressive, and make them taste good too. I am not gonna explain to you how to make the cookies themselves. I have a whole nother video for that. If I were to lump the two of them together, it would be a super long video, which my videos tend to be because I get a little bit wordy. I will link it up above and also pop it down below. Do check it out, because in that video, I explain how to make sugar cookies that don't spread. I don't know if you've ever tried to make roll-out sugar cookies and then you put them on the pan, and when you bake them, your shape looks nothing like what you cut out. Hands up if that's happened to you. In that video, I explain how to not make that happen, so make sure you check that out. This video today is just about how to decorate. All right, so to get started, first we have to have a frosting. So I will show you how to do that. It only needs 3 ingredients. The first one is powdered sugar. The second one is water, and the third ingredient is meringue powder. This is Wilton meringue powder, and you can find this at Walmart, Michael's, probably Hobby Lobby, your normal craft stores. All this is an egg white substitute. So we're making royal icing here, which does call for egg whites. Most cookie decorators don't do that anymore. Instead, they use meringue powder. Dealing with raw egg whites, you just never know if someone's immunocompromised, if they're pregnant, you know, and can't have raw eggs or whatever. It's just simpler too. So that's what I do.
All right, so to start off, you'll need 2 cups of powdered sugar, and we have our meringue powder here, and you'll need about a tablespoon of that. And just mix up those dry ingredients and then add a little dash of water. And you'll just want to mix these 3 ingredients together. Now it's gonna look like there's a lot of powdered sugar, and you might be tempted to add more water, but don't. Just keep mixing it, be patient, get all those lumps out of there, get everything all smooth until it looks like this. Now, I was so tempted to cut this out, but I wanted you guys to see. I'm testing the frosting. I'm going to lift up my fork and then count and see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm kind of testing to see how long that ribbon of frosting stays on the surface of the bowl. So that was a little thick for me. So I'm going to add a little bit more water here, and I accidentally added too much. I'm going to test it again and let you guys see. This is too thin. You see how when I'm lifting the fork up, the frosting just kind of disappears back in? That's a little too thin for me. So I'm going to add a little bit more powdered sugar and mix this in. And like I said, I thought about editing all this out, but I'm like, you know what? They need to kind of see the process here. So if I mix that up here, you see it's still a little thin. The ribbon of frosting staying on for just a second or two. I'm going to add just a little bit more, and it's kind of a gradual process. Add a little bit of powdered sugar if it's too thin, a little bit of water if it's too thick, until you get that really nice sweet spot. So this one right here, if we count the ribbon, it's going to be 1, 2, 3. About 3 seconds on the surface of the bowl there.
Now that we have our frosting all mixed up, I know that was quite the process, but it's really good to just have everything prepared. I'm going to show you basic beginner version, level 1 of what to do to decorate sugar cookies. We are just gonna do just a base coat. That is all. This is all you can handle, and you can't handle the rest of the video. That's totally fine. You can get creative with this and do different colors and just have solid color heart cookies. They're gonna look classic, they're gonna look great, they're gonna look amazing. So that's what you could do. So try this, level 1.
Okay, so for this method, you are going to need a pan and some kind of rack that the cookies can drip off of. I call this the dip method. You just take your cookie, toss it in the bowl, shake it out, and throw it on the pan. Just super simple like this. Now, after you put the cookies on the rack, you'll notice that these air pockets or bubbles come up on the frosting. I just take my finger and pop those while the frosting is still wet. Then you'll just let those babies dry on the rack.
Now this is level 2 of how to decorate sugar cookies. You do your base coat exactly like how I just showed you, except now, this is super simple, guys. We're gonna add sprinkles. You can add sprinkles however you want, however much you want, wherever you want, totally up to you.
Okay, so I know this is super basic, but you can add sprinkles all over evenly. You can try to do like an ombre effect where it's thicker down at the bottom and then kind of goes sparse up at the top. That's what I was attempting here.
So let's talk about food dye here for just a second. Any food dye will work. They come in a couple different options. This is going to be your cheapest. It usually comes in a pack of 4. It's just a liquid food dye. This is really old school. This is the same thing, just a little bit more expensive. Color Right is the brand name. These two would be like a liquid food dye, which is fine. That's totally fine. They tend to be a little bit cheaper. Just keep in mind that because these are liquid, they are going to affect the consistency of your frosting just a little bit because you're adding more liquid to your frosting. So just keep that in mind. It's going to make your frosting just a little bit more runny. You may have to add just a smidgen of powdered sugar just to kind of compensate for that. Okay, a couple other options for food dye. You can find it in these little tubes. These are really popular at Walmart. This is just a gel, so it's a little bit thicker. And shouldn't mess up the consistency of your frosting, or they have, these are really dirty, you guys. Look at this. I really need to organize my food dye stuff. Like I have like this whole drawer of different food coloring and they sometimes leak, and so this looks really bad. I'm sorry. Anyway, this is a paste. Same kind of idea as the gel, it just comes in a tub, and so you just get it out with like a toothpick, or I just use like a pointed knife or fork or something to scoop it out. So any of those food dyes are gonna work just fine. I will say, make sure that you're smart with your frosting, okay? You spent so much time mixing up your frosting and making it the perfect consistency, so you don't wanna waste it. So be a little bit efficient with how you use it. For instance, when I am making fall leaf cookies, I will always do yellow first in my bowl, and I'll make all my yellow base of cookies. And then I can keep my bowl that has a little bit of yellow frosting left in it. I can add more of the white if I need to bring it up if I'm running out or whatever. So, and then I mix orange in it, because you can mix orange and yellow and it's still orange, right? So then you do all your orange, and then you can put red in it. And if you mix orange and red, it's still gonna be red. It might be an orangey red, but it's still red. Like it's what you need. And then after I do red, then I do brown, and I put brown into the red, and it's like a reddish brown, but it still works for leaves, right? So that's how you could do it to still use the same bowl and not have like all these bowls of all these different colors and waste frosting, all that frosting that you didn't use, that you prepared, if that makes sense. So for Valentine's Day cookies, we're gonna be doing white, pink, you could do dark pink, purple. So we're gonna start with white, then we're gonna add pink, then we're gonna add some more pink, and then we're gonna do red, and then purple last. And I'll show you how to do all that.
So with that being said, I'm just going to start with a very light pink, and I'm just going to do a tiny bit here so it's not too dark. Mix that up, and I'm going to do a few more cookies here, and make sure that you just pop those air bubbles, and then I'm going to add some sprinkles. Take a look at that. Isn't that so pretty and sparkly? I love that. So I did pink on pink there, purple on pink there. So now I'm going to do a little bit of a darker food coloring, and like I said before, I'm just adding that to the same bowl. There's no need to do all these different bowls of frosting everywhere. It just can get really messy. So this is a little bit of a darker color. You can see that it's darker than that light pink that I just did. Now I'm going to do some red. Again, I'm using the same bowl, you guys. So I'm just going to do a couple red ones and add some sprinkles there. I did red on red, and I really like gold. So I did some gold on top of the red, some on top of this pink one here. So here's a close-up of those sprinkles. They just add a really nice sparkle to the cookies and just a little bit of a variety rather than just that plain solid color. So now I'm going to mix up some purple. I went ahead and decided to show this to you so you guys could see. It turned out a lot darker than what I was expecting. It's still a very beautiful eggplant purple. It just didn't really match my color scheme of my other cookies. If you were wanting a lighter purple, then you would just start with white icing first and then add your purple food dye.
Okay, we're gonna up level it again, and this time I'm gonna show you how you can get a little bit more of a finished edge on your cookies. So we're actually not gonna dip them this time. I'm gonna show you how like professional cookie decorators do their base coats on their cookies. So it has to do with, you're gonna have to have 2 different consistencies of frosting. So I'm gonna show you that, show you how to do it. You don't have to have any complicated tools. All you need is a couple Ziploc bags and some scissors.
Okay, so to start this off, we have our leftover icing here. As you can see, if you lift up your fork and do a ribbon, it stays on the surface of the bowl for about 3 seconds or so. So this is what we're going to call our fill icing. So you could just get your Ziploc bag, put it inside of a cup like this, just so it's easier to fill, and just put a little bit, not all of it, just a little bit, and seal up your bag. So this is going to be our thinner frosting, which is the same consistency that we dipped our cookies in before. So now I added a little bit of powdered sugar, and now when I lift up my fork, it stays on the surface of the bowl for about 6 to 8 seconds. So this is a thicker frosting, and you're going to do the same thing. Put some of it in a Ziploc bag. So I have my 2 bags here, my thinner and my thicker, and what we're going to do is we're just going to snip off the corner there. So you want to push all the frosting into the bottom, maybe twist it up like this so it all stays down and doesn't come out the top. And you're just going to snip a very little bit, like barely any at all. You can always add a bigger snip if you need to. So now we're going to take that thicker icing and just outline your cookie. So we are going to be literally just creating like a wall or a barrier. And I like to go 2 times around. And then you are going to take your thinner icing here. Same thing. We're just going to twist it up like this so nothing comes out the top. And then you're just going to hold it in the crook of your hand here. Snip a little bit off the edge. It's going to be so drippy, you guys. And then you're just going to kind of put a little bit on your cookie. You're not going to fill it all in because you don't want it to spill over the edge of the cookie. But then you're just going to take some kind of tool, maybe a spoon. Sometimes I've used like a little clean paintbrush or something, and just kind of push the frosting out to the edges like this. So I wanted to show you a quick comparison here. The cookie I'm holding is the one that we did the dip and drip method. So it looks nicer from the top, in my opinion, just because it goes all the way out to the edges. But if you look on the edge, it's got all those drip marks, which sometimes I kind of like chisel off with a knife or something so they're not as drippy, but it's still going to be a little bit messier looking on the edge and the back as well. But the top looks nicer. Now this one here that we did the other method, your edges are going to be nice and clean, and your bottom is as well.
All right, this is the last level for today. Still super basic. You are going to love this. This is like, it's going to be amazing. Okay, this is what you need. You have your base coats, right? So however you want to choose to do the base coats, if you want to do the dip method, that's totally cool. If you want the more professional finished edges that we did where we piped on with the bags, you can do that. But you want to make sure everything is completely dry, like for several hours dry, okay? Like you cannot put a fingerprint in it. It's completely done. Even overnight, that'd be even better. Okay, this is really cool. Look at what I found at Walmart. This is Color Mist food spray. It's edible colored spray. Okay, it's just, I don't know, maybe $3 or $4 at Walmart. It is like spray paint for your food. So I'm kind of a little bit crafty, not like a whole lot, but kind of a little bit. So I went into the craft section and found these awesome templates. Look at this one. This one's got a herringbone, and I don't know what that pattern is called. If you know what this one is called, let me know. Some stars, some checks, some different little designs here, polka dots, hearts for Valentine's Day. These are not in the baking section. These are just in the craft section. They're just flimsy little stencils. We're gonna use these to decorate our cookies.
All right, so you have your solid color cookies that are dry, and you're just gonna take your stencil, place it on top where you want it. And here's my Color Mist spray. Make sure you shake it up, and you're just gonna lightly spray over the top, making sure it's all even. You don't want big places where it's like too much. And then you're gonna very, very carefully take this stencil off, being careful not to smudge the design. This one I kind of smudged a little bit because my stencil had spray on the bottom of it. But here's an example of what it should look like here. Isn't that gorgeous? Doesn't that look so professional? Now, I actually did some more of these that I thought I got on video, but I lost the footage. My camera was not on. So here's some other ones that I did. Look at that pink with the gold on top. Isn't that so pretty? Have some stars. Here's some polka dots. Just a few examples for you. Here's one with hearts on it. So isn't this so neat? And I wish you guys could see this in person because the gold on top is just really shimmery and so beautiful, and the designs just make them look exquisite and professional.
Right, well, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope that gave you some ideas of just different things you can do to decorate your Valentine's Day cookies, but especially I hope that this inspired you to just get creative. You're gonna mess up. There's gonna be things that happen that you didn't expect, and that's okay. Just make the best of it, learn from it, and move on. Some of my biggest mess ups were some of my greatest creations, just things that just happened that I just didn't expect. Decorating cookies, as you have seen, is really not as scary as what you might think it may be. So just try it out. You never know. Just try it. We'll see you guys back next week. We're going to be looking at hopefully a cheesecake tutorial. So if New York cheesecake is your thing and you're not really sure how to make it homemade, make sure to check that out next week. Same time, same place. We'll see you guys later. Bye.